Come, let me get you some.
Yo, 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 this Mundo in the house. It's Saber Talk Sunday.
Hello,
Welcome,
everyone.
guys. Welcome. I sincerely apologize to all of you guys for coming in a little late. Charlie, I hope you have a great workout, man. Right now, I had quite a few technical difficulties. Let me get this. Hold on here. There we go. That's
Yep.
much better. And for some reason my mouse isn't working right either. So go figure. Again, technical difficulties, but can easily be overcome. Easily overcome. So, Jesus, my brain is scattered right now. So, guys, please forgive me and put up with me tonight, man. It has been a heck of a day. So, let me tell you why I was on got a little late on here. My I was taking off a light fixture in my garage, basically this beast right here, and this thing decided to crap out on me and get pulled apart for no damn reason. So I had to replace this whole light receptacle, and I mean, it took me a couple of hours to do it because I'm having to move all kinds of things in my garage to get that done. And I finished it probably about 10 minutes before the show, guys. So I scarfed down some food, got my drink, and I'm sporting a new cup that the wife got
Oh,
me.
talk about big gulp there, huh?
Yeah. So my wife got me this, and I'm like super happy. So I'm gonna be sporting the drink like this for a good while.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
speaking of drinks, as you all can see, oh, Jeremy's in the house. Hello, Jeremy. Good to see you.
Jeremy, welcome, dude. Thank you for coming on, dude. Oh, and I really appreciate that shout out on Facebook and everything, dude. That was really cool, man.
Yeah.
Really cool of you guys. Means a lot. Um,
Well, as
go
you can
ahead,
see,
Bruce.
I'm not in my usual setup. I'm actually on vacation. I'm actually I'm actually chilling out uh, at another location, and as you can see, I'm a little bit lined up when it comes to drinks.
Jesse's in the house. What up, Jesse? Cyberphonic. Jesse, we've got to. Oh man, dude, it's awesome, man. Sarah PB's in the house. Yep.
Yep.
I saw that was a fun trip, man. All the go karts, dude. That was pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, they all went to like Pigeon Forge or something.
Something like that, I think. Right,
That's
Jeremy?
why
That's where I'm.
that's why Cole was asking me about if I was in Tennessee. That makes so much sense. Yes, I well, next time you guys are come down towards
Jim's in
Pigeon
the
Forge
house.
or Chattanooga, just hit me up. I'd love to meet you guys.
Cool, man. And Jesse, when you get a chance, man, maybe you can talk to Theory and both of you guys together come on the show. Well, all of you guys, if you all have time. If not, maybe we can do where, half you guys come on and then the other half comes on, stuff like that. You know what I mean? But if you guys have time, I know you guys are super, super busy. So I want to be able to do it on y'all's, schedule on a Sunday when y'all have like a free Sunday to do it.
Yeah.
And we can plan ahead for that. Um, I was talking this afternoon to Reaver, and Reaver has agreed to come on to the show next week. So that's going to be exciting to be able to talk to him about some of his thoughts and stuff like that. And I was watching some of Theory's YouTube channel stuff today earlier too, man. And I really like the animated stuff that he did and some of the movies. I need to catch up on those so that way, if and when we do get him on here, then we can talk about all of that stuff.
I'm personally looking forward to episode 2 of Vader that he's doing. I think what he did with Shards of the Past was really good, and I think it was probably one of the best Darth Vader fan films we had seen in years. So, and yeah,
Hmm. I have done a show about fan films before, and I think we need to revisit fan films, and we'll go specifically with theories fan films, so I can watch some of those, and we can have a good discussion on some of those. Maybe
I
when we.
I actually have a whole playlist of lightsaber duels and fan duels and fan films that I've just been collecting over the last few years. So anytime I see something that I think is good, I just plop it in my playlist. Just keep track of.
Hmm.
Or if I'm like
That's
bored out of my
awesome.
mind.
That's cool. Yeah, so tonight's going to be a good discussion, I think. It's been a while since I've done one, and I think we need to revisit it. And the reason why tonight's show is because if you watch John from Collector's Outpost, he did a video on repainting his shadow foil hilt,
I saw that.
and
Yeah.
and that particular show, man, that particular video really inspired for tonight's talk because for the people that have come on and for the people who are starting out, but for mostly the people that have had their hilts for a long time, maybe they're contemplating on changing some of the coloring or the painting in their in their hilts. But of course not, you have some people that actually spray paint their hilts, but most people have it either anodized or what's the other one, powder coated, right?
Yeah, and there are a lot of different, companies and people out there that do, not only that, but also weathering and battle damage look, heat staining to make it look like the blade emitter's been used a lot. And it's really an impressive, it's an art in and of itself, besides, what you do with collecting lightsabers.
Hmm. Yeah, and for serious collectors though, for serious collectors, they probably want to leave it in that pristine condition that they have it in with the original paints and stuff. But for some others, they're if they get bored enough, they want to go ahead and do a different color scheme within the hilt. And do you think, Bears? Do you think, and you guys in the chat too, do you guys think that some hilts should be their color schemes altered to make their hilts look a little bit better, or do you think that some of the or that the original paints or anodizing or powder coating, the colors that they have are already should be what they are and be left alone? This is going to be an interesting topic, man, because a lot of people are going to have a lot of different views on this, right? Especially the newbies. But
Yeah. I think it all depends on what lightsaber hilt you're getting and whether or not you are a specific collector to a certain hilt. And I think if
mhm,
you want to just, if you get like, if you have like an 89 sabers skinny flex, an elf sabers skinny flex, a TXQ, LGT skinny flex, all those skinny flexes. If you have like a
mhm,
few that you like do not care like to get battered down with, you could definitely run it through a project or something like that. Like for example, a couple weeks ago, I
Mytho, welcome.
like for a light side Vader sword. Yeah, I can actually see that as a perspective, and I think there have been some concept arts over that. Like a couple weeks ago, I think a month or so ago, a couple weeks, I showed you all the my Anakin AOTC hilt, and originally it was pristine, and I had it sent to James of Mountain Sabers, and it was all I had it all weathered to make it look like it was had been abandoned on Geonosis, and that it was all cut up and scraped and whatnot, and it looks incredible. Like usually, an Anakin Skywalker lightsaber from Attack of the Clones is supposed to be silver pristine, but
Hmm.
honestly, it came out incredible.
Now on, oh shoot, I'm gonna actually have to get up because um, the some hilts and some hilts. are powder, like I said, they're powder coated, and then there's anodized. Do you have any that are actually powder coated, or do you have some that are anodized, or do you have both?
I do not have any anodized hilts. I mean, I've seen examples of powder coated hilts that are like bright red, like purple, like that
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing. And I I haven't gotten to that level of yet because I don't want to spend the money on it. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm right now in my collecting phase. But right now I'm actually trying to take a break from collecting and save up to where I can get them installed. Some of the
Mm-hmm.
ones I need installed, like my Palpatine, like my Saber Forged Adamant, like my Geonobi. I need those installed, and I'd rather have to like split them get them installed over time segments rather than doing a whole just giant purchase in the holidays and just waste waste my holiday money on that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Now, the I've got one. No, well, a lot of the custom Saber Shop stuff. Okay, take Roy Boy for instance, right here.
yeah,
This is powder coated. So the color scheme on here is powder coated except for the thin neck part right here.
hmm
I have gotten some sticky brass, from Albert, and I went ahead and did it on here so that way uh I could update the color scheme on my hilt. Let me go ahead and get it a little bit so that everybody
yeah,
can see. Right here, this would have been the same color as this, but I wanted to pop out a little bit, so it
yeah, thin
made the
necked it.
color scheme, it made the color scheme pop out a little bit more. I to this day I haven't got anything anodized yet, but the powder coat seems to do really well, and I know within time it will kind of go back to the way it is, and probably need to update,
Well, I think
send
it
it
all
and get it.
I
Go
think it
ahead.
all depends on the exposure. But like for example, with my Anakin AOTC hilt, it was made by Ultimate Works, and James told me that when he was applying the weathering to it, it was
Mm-hmm.
for some reason the the metal that they used for it was some sort of metal that would not allow the paint to fully stick or like
Mm-hmm.
do that. So if I was to like rub it in a way, the paint would come off.
And
But
this is spray paint that you're talking about?
uh not spray paint, more like just brush technique, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure James will correct me on that if he ever watches this video. But basically, when holding it, it sort of has a bit of a stick to it, but not like stick to it. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, like it will the some of the paint will rub off when I'm holding while I'm holding it in my hand. But honestly, I actually don't mind it because it just shows that underneath the weathering, it's just that pristine like saber, all the
Mm-hmm.
muck and grime from it, which I think still looks amazing.
Hey,
Um,
Jesse, and do you have anything anodized in any hilts that are anodized? Jeremy, how about you? Have you guys done any anodizing parts for sabers, or bought anodized parts? And or do they stand out just as well as the powder coating? Or do you guys prefer the powder coating on the hilts? Um,
Actually, I can tell you, Mundo, that Jesse on his website, he actually listed a bunch of his hilts for sale.
mm-hmm,
Uh, and one of them that he has up right now is an Obi Luke original trilogy stunt. He basically what
mm-hmm,
he did was it looks like he took um, the Anakin Starkiller Halowax um, Luke V2, and he made it look like the stunt saber that Alec Guinness used in
mm-hmm.
basically the in between of what would be the AN8, the A New Hope stunt to the Return of the Jedi hero hilt.
Oh,
Well,
cool.
stunt hilt, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if any, and I've seen very few videos where people have actually spray painted their hilts. But with that, you do have to take care and have a good sealer. That way, that paint doesn't chip off right away. But then, I mean, I don't think that the spray paint is as good or prominent as both of the anodized or the powder coating, right? Because it sticks a lot better.
Well, I think it also depending on how the paint job is done, it actually depends on how what the person who's doing the design wants it to be.
Hmm.
And I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder and whatnot. But I mean, personally, even though we're not supposed to say we're judging you, we're still going to judge you on your taste in colored sabers.
Some people, not
Yeah,
everybody, but
yeah,
that's why
but
we're here. I mean, we no judging on stuff like that because to each their own, and to each their own. There has to be a level of respect, right? Because no matter what you do to your hilt, it is your personal choice. It's your personal hilt,
there,
and everybody's different. So
yeah, there is also there's a lightsaber company that's based out of. Have you ever heard of NG Sabers?
I think so.
It's a. It looks like it's a company based out of
Oh
the
yes,
UK. They
yes,
do
yes.
incredible weathering and just stencil work. And I'm looking at this
Hmm.
Fallout, this KR flagship that looks like it's based off of the Fallout Wasteland Raider, and it looks like it's up for sale right now. It's empty, but it's definitely can be installed. It's around 650 pounds, but
Hmm.
yeah, not sure I'm going to be wanting that. But the KR flagship is one of those beautiful hilts. But if you look at
Oh
their
yeah,
line,
of course.
there's so
I
many
mean,
incredible.
you got to have the flagship in your arsenal at one point in time.
Yeah, these are just bedat. These just oh my gosh, these just look beautiful, beautiful work. They've done a green mamba. They've done oh my gosh, but yeah. Um, but one thing I actually did want to show. One thing I do want to also say is one of the most well-known um, uh, weathering slash weathering studios out there is Astoria Workshop. And
Hmm.
on his Instagram, he's done incredible commissions for customers who sent them his savers. And most recently, he did a one based off of Darth Nihilus,
Hmm.
um, where he did one based off the core band. And I got a new one.
Dude,
But yeah,
cool.
with this one, um, it was it's a custom chassis that was done by a guy in Wisconsin.
Hmm.
And here it is in all of its phallic glory. Yeah, I know it looks like a unicorn's, but I mean, hey, I'm just quoting Philip Isherwood. I mean, he said it better himself on that. But but even though the saber is nice in its brass in its like coated way, I think it could look better if it was like
Hmm.
weathered. If it looked like it how it would have been from like Malachor from Malachor 5, weathered with some scarring, just that sort of thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, as you can see, and
Let's get it.
quartz
Let's
crystal in the
get a
center
little bit.
there.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Hold on, let me unplug to at least show you real quick how it sounds. One quick second. Okay, and
Nice.
as you can see, the crystal glows.
Man, that thing's loud.
But yeah, it's a very beautiful saber, and I'm very grateful I was able to get this sent to me. So I'm very thankful
Hmm.
to Ian who sent it to me.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool, man. Very cool.
But yeah, I asked
Yeah.
Austin, the guy who runs Astoria Workshop, if it was possible for him to make crack in the saber hilt to where it can show the light from the crystal as it shines. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to send him images about that to see if that's possible.
Right.
So that way the
So
integrity of the hilt is intact.
right. So again, let's see here. Hold on. So another hilt, and of course, there's the balanced hilt right here. Oh, let me see if I can get it. The balanced hilt right here
Oh, very nice.
is again, it is powder coated, right?
Yeah, I can see.
So it's very smooth, very smooth,
Very
and
obsidian like.
it is kind of shiny, so to speak, right? But with this though, I'm not too worried about any nicks and scratches and so forth. Of course, I've got the two emitters together because I thought that looked pretty damn cool when I was thinking about how to orientate and make the saber be different than other sabers out there, right? So again, I haven't played around with anything anodized, and I believe there are some companies out there. And again, I apologize. I did not do my research uh, long enough to really find out which companies are actually anodizing their parts instead of powder coating their parts. So to that, take this information with a grain of salt, because I just simply did not do enough research on that for tonight's show. But later on, I will. I will catch up on that kind of information. I will look into companies who actually anodize their parts instead of powder coating their parts. And I think Jesse, you said that their Saber Trio may be doing that anodizing or the powder coating. I wasn't sure when
Let me
you have
check.
some of the Saber Trios.
Let me look at their
And
website real quick.
yeah, let's go ahead and
Um,
do that. Let's look at it and see what we got.
let's see. All right. So under their store, right now, the custom sabers that they have. Okay, let's look at the Deimos, which is the Terran Malicos inspiration. So right now they have for the Deimos they have 6 versions. They do it in bronzium, weathered bronzium, dark edition, weathered dark edition, satin aurudium, and satin dolovite, which is basically a
Hmm.
very bright red. Um,
Wow.
there there are also custom versions of them called Masterpiece by Saber Trio, which basically you could do your own custom like a commission. However, it's right now out of stock. But as you could see, it can show you what it looks like when it's done, and it's very beautiful. Basically, you design, decal, and so on and so forth. But
Mm-hmm.
some of the some of the sabers they have
Oh no.
under their legendary hilts are just still very beautiful. Like there's one based off of from the Zepho.
Mm-hmm.
There's let's see, yeah, there's handmade of Peridia. Well, that doesn't sound ominous, but yeah,
No, but it doesn't say. You're naming all these things, but it doesn't say whether they're anodized or powder coated, right? And
honestly,
but the coloring it sounds awesome.
oh yeah, and I will say that I think at the end of the day, I think at the end of the day, as long as a customer is just happy with what they're getting, because some
Hmm.
of these are just they're just beautiful, and sometimes you just don't need to judge it simply based on it, you know.
No, no, no. I mean, there's no judging on the colors, but the thing is that, like I said, different coloring techniques may be the difference between, a saber lasting with the color scheme it already has for years to come, or maybe it just starts to flake after a while, and come off. Uh,
Yeah,
see if you can look up companies that anodize lightsabers. See if you can find anything on that. Let's look that up, man, because this is going to be
see.
interesting to see if there's anything out there like that.
Well, I mean, I know that I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Saberforge has done that. Oh, prismatic powders, I believe, have done that. Let me see.
Prismatic powders. Okay.
Hold on, it's loading up. Yeah, some of these websites just have not had that much done with it. Let's see. No, wait. Yeah, no, yeah, prismatic powers. It's just a look like of it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
let's see. Let me look at what it was doing with, but ultimately, huh? Yeah, it looks like somebody took a Saberforge rapier and added a powder coat of brass, of anodized brass, ironstone blue, and clear vision.
Hmm. Wow. That sounds pretty
Yeah.
cool. Now, I do know that if you remember watching Shamim, I believe, had very cool hilts that he actually painted stuff. And then, of course, he had the clear coat, and he really did. Oh, Myth, thank you. Really, that means a lot. It really does. Um, for Satyr trios, depending on where they are at, Cole. Yeah, of course. If they're coming from Canada or above, man, into the U.S., of course, we got to pay
Yeah,
those stupid. And even now,
tariffs are
as a
variable.
matter of as a matter of fact, Texas, they just did a crappy thing, man, that now you got to pay taxes on a fee from eBay and all of those, sellers like that. You got to pay a fee, you got to pay a tax on top of the fee that you're already paying on top of that. So it's like, oh crap. So, oh, and I think now that everything with the tariffs is going to go up 10% on top of that. So even if you go and get your stuff powder coated, you send it to the UK or you send it to Canada to get it powder coated or whatever. If you're not doing it in the US, if you're in the US and you're not doing it in the US, yeah, you're going to pay tariffs on that stuff, man. So,
Let's see. Yeah, so when it comes, I would say, well, if you're buying any hilt that's outside the U.S., I would say that you're definitely going to get a tariff on it. But yeah, but oh, by the way, with us with Saberforge, they do custom finishes, and they use powder coating.
oh, really?
Yeah, and their list is they have a very extensive list of powder coating you can do. Like you can go
Hmm.
from neon to gloss, transparent to matte and or vein, and it's just really beautiful. And
Yeah.
I like me personally, I wouldn't really want to do it because it's just not worth it, I would say, at the moment. But I just think that it would definitely be something that you would just do on a whim, basically.
Well, I watched the powder coating video, and the process didn't seem too hard. It's just when you put it in that a little oven, you need to make sure that you have an oven that you're not going to use anything for but that because, of course, of the chemicals in within the mix of the powder and everything else, right? So, Mito, I hear you. I hear you because all the companies now that they have to pay for, the tariff stuff, all the companies I believe right now are readjusting their prices because of the tariff, and they're adjusting their prices so that it fits the tariff pricing,
Yeah.
and that way there's no more hidden fees or anything on top of that. But you still do have to ask because uh, there's some shady people out there that they're going to say, okay, well, this is the price, but they're not going to tell you that the extra tariff price is going to be added to it instead of being transparent. So there's going to be
Well,
some people like that.
thankfully, for my Starfall speeder that I got from the POC store, I had to pay a tariff of around $30 from when I got it from DHL. And
Hmm.
honestly, it wasn't, I'm not going to complain about it because it wasn't a lot. Sure, it was a bit, but it's not something that you're going to sweat over. If it's over $50, okay, maybe you get a bit of a stink eye to them, but unless you're going to pay over $100 worth in tariffs just for that, I mean,
Right.
I'm not going to sweat it. When will the Supreme Court rule tariffs are illegal? Asking for my sin or addiction. I don't know. And I don't think that's a Supreme Court issue. Take it up with the executive branch. But yeah, take it up with the executive branch, man. Take it up with our orange overlord.
Oh, I'm with you, man. I'm getting there, dude. I'm getting there. But of course, like I said, my collection is going to be really, really small for the time being until I can, it's just going to be one at a time. And
Yeah,
I'm going to have to save at it. Because, like I said, many times I've already said on this show what my budget's like. And I guarantee you, it'd be hard for anybody to, like, what?
well,
Are you serious?
thankfully, I got word for, well, with Christopher, with his shop, he is doing, from what I understand, the prices from 89 Sabers directly have not changed.
Hmm.
And buying them directly from the factory, which is, it's good in and of itself. And that's how I got my Cal Kestis saber when it did. But that's going to be good because hopefully by the end of the year, I will have all the sabers that I ship to him. I'll be able to get back and, finish up my whole saber trade and then never have to
Hmm.
trade anything for another. Regarding selling, regard, oh, Scott's
Autograph.
asking me about my when I got my graphic signed by Roger Christian. Um, I actually didn't seal the autograph. I tried it on one part of it, but the signature just came off. But I have it signed on two parts of the saber still. And even if the signature does come off, I have photographs upon photographs that proved it was signed by the maker. So, but thankfully the part where I had the autograph, or when I had one of the autographs signed, is on the
Hmm.
blade guard, is on the silver emitter guard, on the graphic. So I don't put my
Oh,
hands there, so it's going to stay there for a very long time. And
okay. Hold
I
on
don't,
with that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
what?
Mytho and Cole, do you guys believe that some of the hilts out there should be recolored, or do you think that most of them, with the color scheme that they have, are are what they should be? Hmm? Chet's in the house. What up, Chet?
Hey, Chet.
Chet, Chet, you too. We're talking about color schemes on hilts. Now, do you think that, and of course, whether anodized, powder coated, or spray painted, do you think that some of the hilts out here have what color schemes they are have with them is appropriate and should be left alone, or if you're not happy with them, should you repaint them or repowder coat them to a different color?
Cole says that everything should be customized to your liking, and I agree.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, but basically, and in the comments, I must ask that we keep politics in the real world at a minimum or not discussed at all. As much as we want to gripe about uh, what's going on in the world in daily life, this is a Star Wars lightsaber focused show, and we would like to keep it that way. But I do
Good thing, you
understand
know.
and empathize with people's frustrations as to the current economy. But I will say that one thing that I have noticed when it comes to lightsabers is that the customization of hilts especially when it comes to color coding, has definitely become more popular nowadays, especially amongst the more hardcore lightsaber fans. And I will say that in games such as Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, let's keep it focused on
The trade
obviously the Trade Federation, the grubby Nimorian scum. uh,
Yeah.
but I will say that
Right?
when it comes to in the video games Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor, we got to see how it revealed to the wider Star Wars fandom that you can customize your lightsaber not just in what they look like, what the hilt looks like, as far as physical material, but also with the coloring of it. And I think that's a very it definitely brings out something that not many people realize or
Hmm.
even thought of initially in the Star Wars universe.
Now, we have quite a few builders out there that actually offer where you can, like the Custom Saber shop has their builders, and you can pick out some of the different powder coating color options that they have out there. And also that um, and most saber companies have a builder as well, but I don't think that they really offer the type of builder schemes, coloring schemes that like TCSS does. They don't have, or they don't, either they don't want to, or they don't have the capacity to put that builder specifically for the colorization of your hilts, right?
Well, I think also you have to keep in mind that it costs X in addition to to paying to have your hilt recolored. It costs money to have that done. It's a
Well, of
lot,
course.
and it's all depending on what they're. Oh yeah, Imperial Royal Customs. That's a really good company. They do incredible work. Like seriously, they're just. Let me see. I haven't actually been on their site yet. Royal Customs
Chet, thanks
lightsabers.
for bringing that up, man. Very good point too. So,
Yeah,
and
Royal
we know
Custom.
that they.
Yeah, Royal Custom Armory. They do some incredible stuff. Like, oh my gosh. So get this out. There is a post from July 7th. It's an empty Saberforge Bane, and it looks like it's anodized green, and it has a very reptilian look to it, like sort of a killer croc sort of thing. And it just looks, and it on the inside,
Sweet.
I can't tell from the inside, but it looks like it's the inside is of the emitter is golden. I think it's hard to tell, but it looks like it's still up for sale. I would say if anyone, yep, green dragon thing, powder coated green dragon, and it looks very impressive. And the etching was done by Brian Lynn and Civilized Weapons Service,
Cool, man.
weaponry
Well,
services. But
and I
yeah,
know Jedi Arms Dealer, he did a complete graphics in all brass. And he showed it to me, picture of it to me one time, and I was like, "Holy shit!" A
yeah.
complete graphics in brass, man.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
whoa,
Oh,
wow.
check this out. Oh, back in September, they actually Royal Custom Armory also did a interpretation of Han Solo's Hoth blaster, and it just looks
Whoa.
very beautiful. But yeah, they've done work for Ronin sabers. Somebody did a they did a stubby Luke V3 by Juan Ramirez,
Hmm.
and oh, the Jade Slayer. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna have to look at some of those.
Yeah, they've done it. They've done the Heretic from Saberforge, the IDOB, which is the Obi-Wan version from Clone Wars 2003. They did an Iron Man tribute, which Jeremy from Solo Sabers, this was one of his. Um, yeah, it's an Iron Man tribute saber. Uh, I'm sure Jeremy knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's
Mhm.
just some
The Iron
incredible.
Man sabers. And gosh, which was that complete? I think it was Blue Force, right? Blue Force sabers
Yeah,
that actually had the themed lightsabers. He did a He-Man one.
yeah, the
He did
sound
a
punch for that.
Flash
Yeah,
one. He did a Flash. He did what else did he do? He did a Wonder Woman, I think also. I don't think he did a Batman, but it's been a while since I've seen some of his work.
I
Uh
can tell you that Blue Force Sabers actually did do some. Yeah, he's done Sonic. He's done God of War,
So, okay, there you go.
Alien. He's done Tron. Um, yep, he's done Deadpool, which I have actually. He's done Wolverine. He's done Optimus Prime. But I
I
actually
need to
prefer.
look at the Wolverine one. Shit, the
I
Wolverine one up is cool.
Well, I actually have Juan Sith's version from which he did for the Deadpool and Wolverine movie.
Yeah, I
Um,
got that one too.
and I also do enjoy but Syndicate Custom Relics. He did a whole DCU sound font thing with the Flash and whatnot, and
Hmm.
Batman and Wonder Woman and Superman, which I haven't gotten them yet. But a friend of mine who cosplays as Superman, I said to him, "Well, why don't you give Superman a lightsaber?" He's like, "Bro, why do Superman doesn't need a lightsaber?" It's like, well, who cares? It's Superman. I'm pretty sure he thinks lightsabers are cool too. And considering David
Hey,
Cornsweet is a big Star Wars fan, I'm sure he would definitely do a Superman photo with a lightsaber and be like,
if anything, that if he had a Superman had a lightsaber, I guarantee you it would not be the color scheme on his suit. It would be a green crystal type lightsaber.
"No, no, because
Yes, yes, he would. Yes, he would, because his palace, the Crystal Palace that he had in the Antarctic, right? Most of his powers came from the green crystal that you saw in the barn in the movie.
no,
And
no, that's
yes,
kryptonite. That's kryptonite. Kryptonite makes him weak. There's a
okay,
difference."
that no, the green crystal that he had. That I'm not talking about the kryptonite. I'm talking about when you saw in the first movie, the first iteration, when he threw that green crystal to make the Crystal Palace,
Oh,
right?
okay. Well, I would say it was more of a teal, but I do it if you're
Okay, the
talking about
teal.
if you're talking about the original movie back from with Christopher
Yeah.
Reeve, yeah, okay, that I can understand.
Okay. That to me right there would be the type of saber he would have, right? In purple saber.
No.
Lito.
Yes, exactly,
That's
Chet. I
funny.
agree. Chet's right. He has two lightsabers. It's his eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there was an episode of Superpower Beatdown back in the day where Batman versus Darth Vader.
Storm was inspired by Iron Man. Oh, okay. Cool, Scott.
Yeah.
Green Crystal. Now, and I can just imagine. I mean, imagine what, of course, Green Lantern would have the lightsaber like that as well,
He
right?
has the power ring. He doesn't he has the power ring. He
No,
doesn't
he
need a
would.
lightsaber.
No, he would actually actualize a lightsaber with the power ring. If you want to get into that kind of thing, you know what I mean?
That'd make him OP. I don't know.
Come on, if people are going out of out of universe type stuff. But hey, I mean, all like I said, all is good though. It's fun. It's funny to think about it. I mean, you gotta have funny things to talk about sometimes. Yeah, it looks like a huge emerald. Oh man, I mean, just imagine. Hey, can you make me a crystal, dude? Yeah, gotcha. There you go.
Yeah.
But some of the powder scheme, like dark, the dark force, or you really have. I think the dark hilts are
Yeah,
very
the dark.
well made, and the shading in there. I think if you're going to go with full black, but to have uh some kind of other color to bring some of that darkness out of it, so it's not completely black all of the place, right? Depending on the type of Sith you are as well. Uh, I think would be a lighter shade of darker colors to go along with the black, and
Yeah, I
and
agree.
not so much as a bright color just to make the black pop. Unless, like I said, like Palpatine, his wasn't dark.
Well, actually, there is speculation saying that one of the hilts was was bright, but the other one had a black coat on it. Although
Hmm.
maybe I'm wrong, and maybe that's just because 89 Sabers decided to add a different color scheme to it. But ultimately, it still looked very cool. It still looked incredible.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like I said, Palpatine's hilt was not black whatsoever. I mean, it was like a snotty rich person's type hilt,
Well, no,
right?
he made the hilt out of electrum to insult the Jedi.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is that the color scheme on it is not dark at all. And like I said, yeah, he did it to insult him, but at the same time, it was like because it could have easily been black or some other darker color to, to maybe a powerful dark, like a dark navy bluish color to it, right?
Like
Or a
gunmetal blue,
tinge,
or
yeah, like a metal blue or a tinge blue type color. And but it was all shiny, and it looked like a rich person's type of hilt. So again, like you said, it was to insult the Jedi for what he had. And so again, most of the hilts that we see that are from Sith, you see them have those darker colors
yeah, like
and
Malgus, or
nothing to.
and I mean, when you look at
So
like,
you got red and black,
yeah,
right? Red
um,
and black is usually the normal.
yeah, definitely, especially. But I will say though, when it comes to lightsabers from the old Republic, I mean, like for example, my Nihilus, it's technically just a silver unicorn stick. So
Scott, I kind of agree with that, man. How is his wasn't?
well, I would say the reason why is because Mace Windu's was made with Electrum as well, but with Palpatine's, it was also a mix of Frick, of lightsaber resistant metal.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I
And
know.
how can this be?
I don't
For
know.
years, the Quezwax hot rod. Okay, so going
And
back, my dogs, they're going crazy now. Um, okay, we're getting now off topic here. Oh my gosh. So going back to the color schemes, though, I've seen videos with some of anodized parts, like car parts and stuff like that, right? And then I've seen some videos with the powder coating, and they look so similar. But I don't know. What I don't know is that how they compare in terms of thickness and how they hold up in terms of sticking to the metal itself in the amount of time that you do have the hilts within your possession. Now that is something that, like I said, I'm going to have to do some homework on so that I'm aware of that kind of information. If anybody decides that they want to have that kind of information, and we can put it up here, up on the show as well. And that'd be a little bit of a fun homework for me to do. But again, like I said, I mean, I am not very technical on stuff like that, but it'll be a little fun homework project to do and decide what the time frame is from a anodized part to a powder coated part, and especially if you are one that likes to work on vehicles or other projects with metal and so forth. And so maybe I might have to talk to a few people that are in metalworks and see what their thoughts are on that, right? Um, Again, because you do have to probably seal these things, and that way that they don't come off, with the acids that are in your fingertips and so forth. Just like paint, if you don't seal the paint, then you're going to go ahead and get paint on your fingers, or it's going to rub off eventually, and then you're stuck with a half painted or kind of ugly looking hilt. That's it. Just, that is funny, Jim. Blasphemy! Exquisite! Dark side kyber crystal.
I don't know. I like metal. That's funny.
I do like that font though, the MF font.
Oh
It's
yeah.
funny. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Very hilarious. I don't know. I don't like metal. Oh my god. Ah, it's got that tinge taste to it, and if you pair it with a fine wine, more like a red rosé. Yeah, take that, even.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Who does that though? Who actually licks metal? My God,
I don't
that'd be kind
know.
of well.
Someone who's weird.
I can picture it right now, and I'm like, oh my God.
I mean, here's my water bottle. Uh,
Oh my God. If I started doing that with this thing, I'm gonna lick the starships right off. Yeah,
yeah.
not even.
I mean, if we had a Star Wars character like Fester Adams, I could see him
Oh,
licking or eating metal.
oh my God, Fester. How would his health? Okay, guys, we're gonna change the subject just a tiny bit, but I mean, because this is gonna be funny. How would Fester's hilt actually come out? Like, what would it be? Like a light bulb for the crystal?
More like he just doesn't. He's like, well, I kind of don't want to use my lightsaber as much. I just like to zap people. Zzz, zzz, zzz. It really
Right.
does. It really does wake you up, you know. Oh, I could just see Fred Armisen just trying to do that. Oh my gosh.
Oh, and then of course, Fister might have to have the part where he can put it in his mouth and fight with his mouth.
Oh my god, yes.
I mean, he's got the power for it. I mean, my gosh, he puts a light bulb in his mouth and it lights up. So why not?
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, so who? Okay, let's get back into silver tones in the hilts. I think silver tones bring out
Oh,
a
hey Mo.
lot of. What's up, Mo? Glad you're on, dude. Um, Silver tones within hilts, I think, really bring out some of the great aspects of lightsaber hilts that there are. The many iterations that are out there, though, the silver tones comes and blends well with blacks. Then you have, well, the silver with the blacks and the gold, or brass colors, right?
Well,
And
I personally prefer a lightsaber that has a silver tone that isn't going to become a fingerprint magnet. Like, I mean,
mhm.
okay, my Nihilus, for example, it's coded to where it's there will be fingerprints, but it's not as noticeable unless you look right at it. But like, okay, can you guys see that? Like, I can see the
Mhm.
reflection in the hilt. Like, that's how bit with that. But like, can you see it? Can you see the
Wow.
reflection? Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think that's really nice. Now, obviously, when I have this sent out to uh, Astoria workshop, it's going to lose the wet. It's going to lose the shine. It's going to be weathered. It's going to look like something that was crafted on Malachor 5. But honestly, I I don't know. It's just sometimes silver works on some hilts. Like for example, on the Revenge of the Sith, on Anakin's our Revenge of the Sith hilt, it works. On the AOTC hilt, it works. On any of the Darth Vader lightsabers, it works.
Hmm.
But I wish that they weren't such fingerprint magnets because they really put they really just it hurts like a lot. It really just and nobody wants to clean up their lightsaber. Nobody wants to keep doing that on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah. So, okay, here's something. Here's a thought for process right here. On Annie's saber, where um Revenge of the Sith, or let's see.
The ROTS quest.
Okay, so let's say we're, when he's slaying the sand people, okay? That particular hilt right there. How would it look if it was actually blackened, completely dark black, right?
Yeah.
With the activation box with just a little bit of silver tone to it, and
Well,
maybe a line or two at the top, um, maybe a line or two at the top where the screws are, right in the emitter section, just small amount of silver or tones in
I
there.
mean, it isn't out of the realm of possibility. Like for example, the one that I have, if I were to make a small bit of adjustment on it, it could basically look
Hmm.
like that. But what Jim says there, I agree with him. No saber should be perfect or pristine. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
for example, I want to also take my 89 Cal Kestis saber, have it sent out, and have it, look like it's had some wear and tear to it.
Hmm.
And then there's probably going to be like someone who's like, "But why would you do it? It's just a beautiful piece of art." And I say to them, it doesn't matter if it looks pristine. What matters is that it can light up. Like if you want
Yeah.
to do something where you have a pristine collection on your wall, go ahead, power to you. But ultimately for me, what all that I care about is that if it can light up and it can look great while doing so.
Hmm. Now again, the weathering on hilts, I think really brings out a lot of the tones within a hilt as terms of being dirty, right? The grime and everything that you see dulling the shine, dulling the body itself into these different kind of hilts, whereas you get a pristine kind of hilt, and it would be just okay, that person just barely made it, right?
Mhm.
They haven't seen any battle, they haven't seen any kind of weathering whatsoever.
So,
Probably any of those type of hills, I think, should be maybe to youngling type hills, right? For them to
well,
be a little more pristine because
well, I mean,
they don't do any
the
battle.
training hilts that we see from Episode Two, Attack of the Clones, like those, I could understand them having it like that.
Hmm.
Um, I would also say that a Jedi that was more of a diplomat would definitely be of that caliber. Um, However, one saber that I think definitely fits that category would be Sindralig. He was the Jedi battle master during the Clone Wars and the security officer there, the main head of security. I mean, the I would say okay. What Scott's saying is Count Dooku's hilt fitting the pristine category. I would
Hmm.
say yes, because if we remember, if to those who have read Revenge of the Sith, we know that Dooku is an aristocrat. He's a
Hmm.
snobby guy, and he wants his, even if he fights with his saber in combat, he's going to make sure that it is pristine, that it is a status symbol as the Count of Serrano. And actually, as far as pristine goes, Lucky Sabers did a custom Count Dooku saber of what would happen if it was recovered from the wreckage of the Invisible Hand. And
Hmm.
honestly, even if when it's weathered, it still looks amazing.
Yeah, and like you said, I think some of the hilts, depending on the type of person that got the hilt,
Yeah,
whether it should be pristine or not. Again, of course, the Dooku, right? You're having that kind of aristocratic behavior would definitely give in to a pristine hilt, no matter what you are, if you're that kind of person. And
yeah,
because you're going after somebody, but after a fight, you clean it up. You made a mess, but you clean it up because you are just that type of person that I want something clean. I want something nice. It's gonna be who I am, and that's who it is.
yeah.
And
One thing I do want to say is that when it comes to uh, sabers that have ornate decoration on them, what we've
mhm,
seen from the High Republic novels and comics is that some of the lightsabers from the High Republic era, from 1000 BBY to 32 BBY, they look incredible, and
mhm.
they just look absolutely amazing.
Mo, I think that anybody buying a saber, depending on how they want it, if they're not going to do the weathering themselves and they want it weathered, then I would think they should have, if they have that option at the company that they're buying it from, then yeah, they should be getting that process done right then and there, so that way later on they don't have to send it anywhere else. It's already done right then and there, and I think that would save them a tremendous amount of money doing it within the house that they bought it from, right? And Cole says etching over black anodized or powder coated hills is gorgeous. Oh, of course, Cole. I mean, if y'all haven't seen some of Cole's, stuff too, the laser etching that he's done, man, it's just like freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And
Hey, have you been seeing one thing I've been noticing on the lightsaber pages on Facebook is that people are presenting their Roman props hilts. In fact, there's one by Rudy Almanzon. He's got a Buried Hope that was installed with a Profi V3.9, and it just looks amazing.
mhm,
You know, I hope to one day get a Roman props hilt, but I mean, but I even so, I'm pretty happy with what I'm getting from 89 Sabers, but still, Roman props is just unbelievable.
Cole's gonna get back into it. Awesome, Cole. I can't wait so I can see some more of your work, dude.
Yeah,
He
definitely.
you know. But again, going back to Mo's question, and then I think it would save you a little bit of money, more or less, because if you decide later on that you do want to get it, um, weathered, because you're not going to get it weathered yourself later on down the road, then if you run out of time or you just don't have the funds, later on down the road. Welcome, Charlie. No, you're never late, dude. I know you're always listening. I know you're always listening, man. I hope you have a good workout, dude. Um, anyway, going back to it, and then if you have the funds at that time, it really does save you money to do it in the house that you're buying it from, simply because it's already there. They have that service. Yes, it's an added cost, but if you think about the added cost that when you get it and a couple of years later you want to get it powder coat, I mean, weathered and so forth, and you got to send it out. So now you've got the added cost of sending it to that person that you're going to get it done. You've got the added cost of the shipping back and forth, right? And then you've got the added cost of if anything happens to it within transit, whether maybe you get it lost or this and that, and then now you have the added cost of the tariff stuff. So again, if you do have the funds for it, it's probably better to get it all done right then and there, so that that way, when you do have it, it's done and you don't have to send it anywhere or anything. And and again, if you have to change it, if you want to change it later on, where you can do something else, right? Oh yeah, absolutely. Depends on the company, but pre-weather like Vader votes, weather and the customization. Yeah,
Yeah.
not not worth it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, when you send it to someone, it has to be very reputable.
Uh-huh. Tim says he missed the stream, but he hasn't missed it. We're still on, Tim. If you're watching, bro, we're still on. Haven't got anywhere yet.
Yeah.
But like I said, you know, um, if you have the funds, like I said, I think it'd be worth doing it right then and there. And if you don't, and you have to get it done later on, just understand it may be a little bit more of a cost to do it that way. But then again, you do have the time to save up, uh, save up and get the that service taken care of. For somebody like me who's on limited funds, then yeah, I mean it's a little extra cost to me later on to get it done, but I'm willing to learn how to do it myself as well and save a little bit of that money. And it'll in the long run it'll be worth it because for me, learning a new skill will help me really get you know to acquire that skill will really help me further my training, further my self, and acquiring these new skills. And
Exactly. Yeah.
well, so again, like I said, to acquire some new skills in doing all aspects of learning to install your own hilts, learning to install your do your own blades and so forth, right? I mean, these are all facets of the hobby itself, and whether you want to learn all of them or not is entirely up to you. And then again, like I said, there's different costs for different times and different things. And now, I mean, even more importantly, the cost is going up and it's not going down. But eventually, I think, hopefully in the future, there might be a way to lower some of the costs for certain things. Um,
Exactly.
and but it also depends on the company you go with as well, right? It's like buying a car. I mean, you're not going to go with one car dealership to find the best deal out of a vehicle that you're going to buy. Shop around a little bit, right?
Exactly.
Really cool. Saber Trio, you didn't like their stuff, huh? Saber Forges, I can probably
Yeah.
agree with
Saber
you.
Forge. It all depends really on your perspective.
You know, I mean, even James does wonderful job too.
Yeah. Mountain
Mountain
Saber.
Sabers, he does.
Mountain Sabers with my Anakin AOTC did was able to do it like on par with um, with uh, with Austin from Astoria Workshop. Like it's on par. So, I mean, don't hate someone just because they haven't done, but it all depends really.
Hmm. If someone was doing, let's see, a small run of empty hill with some of the sabers. Well, again, that would depend. Mo, that would depend on whether or what your target market's going to be. Some may. you may have half and half, right? Some may want weathered, some may want an unpolished, some may want polished. It all depends because everybody's different. So you have to account for your target market on what they want, and don't offer unless you just want to offer a specific way, and make sure that you tell everybody that if you're going to do that, you're going to need to make sure that, okay, this is the way I'm going to offer it. I'm not going to offer it in these other ways. So I need to be upfront with you and tell you, okay, I'm just going to do a weathered hilt, or a slightly weathered hilt, and I'm not going to do a pristine. I'm not going to do a polished. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. You have to be as transparent as you can with your target market, because once you go and you skew off a little bit, I think you will lose a little bit of who your market is. And because in terms of really that person who's going to appreciate what you have to offer, right? So if you are going to offer like those three ways of doing the hilts, then be as transparent and say, okay, I'm going to offer these three ways to do the hilt. Are you guys interested in this, or are you not interested in that? And then find which one you are going to have more interest built in, because when you have more interest in one side or one way of doing the hilts, then you can go through and say, okay, well, I'm not getting a whole lot of orders for this side, so maybe I shouldn't get. What the hell was that?
What?
Oh, I'm hearing some kind of talking or something in the background.
Oh, I think it's probably my parents are in the other room. I'm on vacation with my family.
Oh,
So
okay,
I'm
okay,
sorry. Don't pay no heed to the talking
okay.
parrots.
I couldn't understand what was going on, so I was
Okay.
all like, "Wait, what's that noise?" I was like, "Background noise." I'm like,
Hold
"Oh,
on. Hold on.
okay,
Give me a second. Hold on one second. Mom,
okay."
Dad, you're being loud. Apparently, the host can hear you guys talking. My mom says you're lucky to listen to her.
I'm honored. Only on the Mundo channel, man. Okay,
Only on
so
the
so again, going back to those things, that you really do have to be transparent with things, because you want to make sure that um that you're upfront with those things. And if you do decide to do those other parts later on, then go ahead and say, hey, maybe in the future we'll offer this, but for right now we're going to do that. And then ghost. And then so that way you can get an idea of what you're going to do more of, what you're going to have less of, and it gives you that little bit of target to hit and go for, right?
yeah.
And believe me, because eventually one of these days, I mean, I would like to do a run of something one of these years. I mean, it may happen, it may not. I don't know yet, but I mean, I've got it in here, and
Definitely.
whether it comes to life or not, I was thinking the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Whether I want to hilt polished, unpolished, whether it be weathered, unweathered, whatever have you will. But realistically, you have to look at what you're going to get the most out of in terms of your target market. What most people are going to be looking for. And if
Yeah.
you know that, okay, so if you know the least amount of your target market is going to say, okay, I don't want a polished hilt. I'm not going to buy a polished hilt, and that's going to be your least wanted type of hilt. Then you only make a certain amount of those, or maybe a polished hilt to order, right? So when they order one, then you make that one so that you don't spend all this money getting all these polished hilts and then not be able to sell them. And then, in each terms that you get, whether the color schemes that you were wanting, again, goes with the polished, unpolished, whether it be a dirty hilt, uh, fully weathered, not fully weathered, and so forth. And so getting those, getting those type of things going, make sure you get your audience to participate in surveys or whatever have you, what people are looking for, so it gives you an idea of what to really to produce. If you're going to do a small run, get an idea of what you're going to produce the most, and that should help you out right there to make your decisions on everything else, right? At
Yes, I
least that
agree.
is that. At least that's the way it is for me, because I mean, you know, uh, part of my background is marketing stuff, but again, business management and marketing, you have to tend to look at what your audience is going to do. And hey, Titan, welcome, dude. Yeah, you're never late, dude.
Yeah,
If anybody makes it into the chat, I mean, you're never late. I
definitely.
love you
Yeah.
for being here. You know, I'm,
Um,
I'm just so glad that you're here.
So, quick segue, Mundo. I'm sure, as we've all seen the last 2 weeks, we've had some trailers for Star Wars drop. The
Hmm.
Mandalorian Grogu, Star Wars Visions Season 3. I wanted to get your thoughts on it because personally, I'm very excited for Visions Season 3 and for the Mandalorian Grogu.
I have not seen Mandalorian Grogu one, but Visions 3, I am super excited because I think that they are going to be like really good. Of course, with the matchup that they did with the Japanese company and the way that they're bringing it out, I think they're going to have a better storyline as it goes. I'm
I think
wondering if we're going to see some of the same lightsaber hilts in there, or are we going to see something different,
Well, keep
right?
in mind there are returning characters, including from the Ronin, from the from the Ninth Jedi, the uh, and from the Mass Jedi, from those three, and we're seeing that those returns. But I think that it'll be interesting to see because when Visions first came out, I was a little skeptical, but I honestly thought it was incredible, and especially with the first one that they did with the Ronin,
Hmm.
it was a straight off tribute to what George Lucas was inspired by when it came to Star Wars with Akira Kurosawa. And
I
one thing
agree.
I messaged Jesse earlier today regarding his Tales of the Underworld font pack that he's still working on. Jesse, because I hope he gets that done because I know that when Visions Season 3 comes out, there's going to be, I'm sure, a bunch of updates regarding the fonts, but also new fonts possibly, like we saw in different things like that. And I am hoping that we also are able to get a lightsaber replica or two from that because we got that from Visions. We got that with Lop's lightsaber. We uh, Jawa's Junkyard made a version of Kare's lightsaber from the twins. Um, they also did a prototype of the Masked Jedi's lightsaber with the Suba and whatnot, and
Hmm.
also the Ronin's lightsaber, which has been mass produced by LGT and Nexus,
Hmm.
LGT and TXQ, and has been the basis for many custom jobs, lightsaber hilts in the last few years. And I think that this has definitely taken Star Wars to another level when it comes to visions, and it definitely broadens the audience. Um,
I think
but
so as well.
I will say though that some fans didn't like the episode that was made by the company that did the claymation for Wallace and Gromit. I personally liked it because it was a callback to claymation, which is honestly it's an art form of animation, not animation, but that sort of like made for
Yeah,
TV. Um, so
but I
yeah,
do like the Jap anime versions of stuff. I mean, really,
I
really
agree.
done well. And I would love to see a full version of Star Wars from episode one. to the end of it in the Japanese anime style,
Well,
right?
that's why there's artists that out there that do that sort of thing, and there was actually a line of Star Wars, the original trilogy, done in manga form. You could still find it. Uh, Mytho asked favorite lightsaber from Star Wars Legends. Oof, that's a tough one because there are a lot of them, but
Dude, I've got no favorites. I like them all.
that's a fair point. I mean, I would say Nihilus's doesn't really enter the category because some would think of it as just a giant unicorn's. Uh, yeah, but
I wouldn't even said that, but okay.
I will say though that if you're fans of Old Republic, specifically KOTOR, I would say Darth Malak's lightsaber, even though there's not an official version, um, it's very nice. And Korbanth did a new version of that based off of that, which I'm hoping to acquire sometime in the future. Satil
Oh
Shan's
shit.
lightsaber is very nice. Darth Malgus's lightsaber, even though it's basically a giant battle axe of a hilt. Darth Bane's, which never really got like a full on like official hilt. I would say that
No, but I do like Rob Petcow's version of Bane.
yes, Rob
I
Petcow's version of the Bane is definitely a very impressive one. It has a sort of bone look to it.
I
Um,
really like that. I think that is appropriate in terms of that kind of hilt.
yeah,
Um, the color scheme, but
definitely.
having that bone within the hilt is so appropriate for that character.
Yes,
Really.
indeed. Mo, I'm very much liking my Starfall speeder. It's nothing special as far as looks, but it's definitely what it would look like if um, as a basis of what you would like pick off from a motorcycle or a speeder bike. So I think it's very nice. It's a really good saber. Although I'm not sure if it would work as far as dueling with it, but underneath the silver piece, there's extra retention screw holes, and I definitely think that it could definitely hold up as far as if I wanted to like definitely take a definitely wanted to whack it against a tree, especially the blade. Like it would very much, I would be able to swing it around without it flying off into the middle of the road or something. Um, but I will say one aspect of, oh, you ordered the Ragnarok. Yeah, that one is based off of Star Wars Old Republic. I think that that one is definitely a very nice hilt. And Titan, you definitely made a good choice on that one, I would say. What version of it did you get? Did you get it as a baselet, a Xenopixel, or a Profi? Or is it available in Golden Harvest? Hold on, let me look.
I think it is,
Yeah,
but I
Golden
think
Harvest has been making the rounds with LGT sabers, especially with custom made ones, and it's very nice.
Dark Sabers. Okay, so let's see here. I'm
Yeah.
looking at the lightsaber book right here,
Yeah.
and
The the Ragnarok is a custom design. It's not a it's not going to be in that book.
no, I
Oh,
know. I'm
yeah.
just what I'm looking at. What I'm looking at, and I'm not thinking in terms of legends, but my brain is shifting to
Yeah.
mashups. My
Well,
brain is shifting
yeah.
to mashups, right?
Scott
And
mentions Scott here mentions the saber designs that were passed over in the Acolyte. I agree that, especially considering this was the tail end of the High Republic era. I mean, I honestly feel like they tried to do it based off of a budgetary reason. At the same
hmm
time, I mean, I don't dislike the hilts. I think that they definitely didn't have to be so chunky.
hmm
Um, but I think that in a way, they also reused some of the hilts in the Acolyte. Like for example, Torben and Jeki, their hilt was the same design. The only difference was the wrapping, the leather wrapping. Uh,
Hmm.
the same. Oh yeah, the Lost Acolyte from KR. Jim says Lost Acolyte bike from KR Sabers. Yeah, that one is very nice. Um, but I
You
would,
know what?
but also
Go ahead.
Jord Vandar's hilt and Sol's hilt are very similar, and I think it's like an early version of what the clan hilts were supposed to be. But
Hmm.
ultimately, I do agree that they could have, if Lucasfilm didn't have a stick of its ass, I really do think that they could have done something great with the Acolyte. But I mean, it's just a matter of opinion at that point with it, you know. It's not
It
addressing the
is.
chunky hilts. Yeah, I know. Look, I know. I think that the lightsaber designs that we got in the concept arts for the Acolyte should have been done. I think it would have been, yeah, the Passover designs. I agree. I wish they would have done those, especially with the Sith hilt. With the Sith hilt that could have gone for Chimere. I mean, maybe, yeah. I mean, I personally think that maybe it went from it because of it was from a budgetary standpoint, but ultimately it just I am also disappointed with it as well, and it's very disappointing. Yeah,
I think so, but I mean, even now that I'm interested to see in the color schemes that are going to come up with future hilts, and especially with these two, um, future coming up shows, and seeing if the color schemes are actually going to work really well, translating from, let's say, the animation version to the real world version, or vice versa, right? Coming in from Grogu and the Mandalorian, and
I
seeing
mean,
how those color
well,
schemes are going to come out.
keep in mind that Grogu doesn't have a lightsaber yet. I mean, there's been concept
Hmm.
sabers made, but ultimately he doesn't have a lightsaber yet.
Well, he does. He has Yoda's saber actually, because
Nope. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Because remember, Grogu chose to go back to the Mandalorian.
true. But who's to say that Luke didn't actually hand the hilt to the Mandalorian for later on? We never saw that, but we don't know.
I don't know. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
But we,
Who knows what will happen? But honestly, I think we'll see next year. But ultimately, I am looking forward to seeing how it goes. There are some people that are thinking that the Mandalorian and Grogu movie are like it looks like it's just there's just been some complaints about it regarding how season 3 was, and honestly, I just don't pay attention to that stuff. I think it's going to be great, and I admire Pedro Pascal's performance as Mando, and not to mention his stunt double Brendan Wayne, who is John Wayne's grandson. I mean,
right?
Western tradition, except gone Western. So, but ultimately, I'm looking forward to it. Also, I'm. It'll be great to finally see a live action Zeb from Rebels, um, voiced
That
by
I'm looking forward to.
the incredibly talented Steve Bloom. And also, Rota the Hutt is going to be making an appearance.
Really?
Although, yeah, although I'm kind of it's kind of weird how Rota the Hutt went from how it took about what 20 some odd years for him to grow buff like that. I thought Hutts were supposed to be hundreds of centuries years old.
Hmm.
But hey, what do I know?
We haven't had too many old Republic kills, have we? I don't.
I mean, Old Republic hilts. We have Malgus. We have. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
oh, can't
there's not that many though. If you look into it, for sure.
the closest hilt that we have that is considered Old Republic. The only okay, as of right now, there are only a handful of lightsaber hilts that are canon Old Republic hilts. Revan's is considered canon. Bastila Shan's is considered canon. Um, the lightsaber hilt we got in Skeleton Crew is considered canon, but besides that, we don't have anything else.
Hmm. And you know, I would like to see. I would like to see a hilt built from somewhere out of the outer rim area and what it would look like, right?
I agree.
And if we can find somebody, well, if somebody can come up with something that we see from the outer rim in both iterations, whether it be canon or legends, I think it would be a very interesting design to see. And actually, would it be one or the other, both the Sith and the Jedi, and what they would look like? Which masters would they actually kind of put some of their, to honor their master? What would they use in their lightsabers, but in an area that is out of the normal area that you would see, and what would it come and be made out of, or even parts of it, right? That would be such an interesting concept to see something like that. And who knows what it would look like. And maybe you'd get a mashup of two different hilts that we could see that come together and looks pretty decent out of that. And it would be outer rim type stuff. Maybe an outer rim relic, right? Now, if you see, Saber Bay had a new lightsaber that just came out not too long ago, or his concept saber, and on his page he was asking, can anybody name it? Well, I put it out there as either Outer Rim Relic, or what did I say, Star Blaze or something like that, right? And he liked it. He liked the names for his hilt, so maybe we'll see if something like that comes out, um and but or something way different, and see how that would come out. But that would just be so, and the color scheming to that would be really cool too, I think, because I think it might be out of the normal type colors, right? I was thinking, not anything too bright, but not too dull either. Kind of like an in between mix of the colors, or even maybe some slight silver tones with dark hues type colors. Maybe maybe like um maybe like the heat staining blue type color, right?
Yeah,
I think that would be probably a more appropriate, the heat staining blue with a little bit of brighter color to make it pop out a little bit, but in between in there. I think it'd come out great. I think it'd be interesting to see what they use as far as how it's going to come out.
definitely.
But again, we'll see with these shows what they produce and what other people are going to come out with, right? Okay, Mitho, have a good one. Thank you so much for joining the show, man. In the comments, I really appreciate it. Um, right, right, Mo. That's what I'm thinking. So
Yeah.
all we've seen is the heat staining blue in the emitter sections of hilts right now. To this day, we have not seen a whole hilt produced with that color. And I'm sure that somebody's going to be watching this, and of course they're going to produce it, right? But maybe they'll give me, props for bringing it out and telling it out there. Now that
Yeah.
Nihilus hilt, I was picturing the Nihilus hilt within that color scheme, you know, with
Of
the
what?
with the stripes, silver, with the stripe, or with the stripe that goes down, but the rest of it the heat blue stained color.
I would say I actually don't agree with the heat blue stain on this part because keep in mind that Nihilus, even though he was very proficient and an excellent lightsaber duelist, he mostly preferred to feed on the force energies of others.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
honest,
that's true. Yeah.
but that's why I would say it would look. I would go off of what Astoria Workshop posted. basically have it all weathered and battered and having a few scars and nicks, maybe if possible an opened area where the scarring would show the crystal inside.
Well, if you kept the emitter the color, the color it is there, but the rest of the hilt heat stained, because didn't he? I mean, if he used the lightning, a lot, right? If he used lightning a lot, his hands would have that much heat to heat up that hilt. And
Oh,
so that's
in that
why,
case,
and
that
so
case,
that's why I would say,
that
he's holding it in his hand like this, but as he's throwing out the lightning from his fingers with the saber in his hand, then he could turn the color of the hilt that heat stained blue color, right?
that
Because it
okay,
turns,
that makes sense. I would say along the main body, yes,
yeah,
but out of the top here,
no, no,
probably not.
no,
But yeah,
yeah, nothing up there.
yeah, yes, Titan, I do agree. Breaking out the Dremel would be good, and I will. I'll have to talk message Austin about that of a story workshop about that. But yeah,
So yeah, I mean, very interesting to really get the juices flowing, the creativity to come out and start
yeah,
really hammering on certain things. And again, maybe one of these days, somebody's listening to the show and they hear the ideas that they have, maybe they'll give me a little bit of shout out, say, hey, this was Mundo's idea, let's bring it to life, and
yeah.
we'll see how that goes.
I'm actually thinking of actually trying to attempt a nihilist cosplay because you know of all the costumes that you can do, of cosplays you could do for Sith Lords, Nihilist is actually a pretty simple cosplay if you get down to the bare bones of it. I mean, even if
Yeah.
you're not going for a 501st Legion accurate light costume, all you need
Hmm.
is I already have the tunic to do it. I have the robes to do it. I mean, I have black jeans, so that works too. All I
There you
need
go.
is a cape, a nylon mask, a nylon or breathable mask. Oh yeah, Scott mentioned Kennedy Customs. Yeah, Kennedy Custom Sabers is definitely an incredible uh, do with that. And just and it works. And I have a Darth Nihilus mask that I picked up a few years ago. So yeah,
That's cool, man.
yeah,
Sweet.
yeah.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, guys. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead. I'm getting a little tired here, so let's go ahead and call it a night. And thank you guys so much for coming into the chat and really having hanging out with us. It really makes my world go round that you guys come and hang out with us on Sunday nights
It
and
was a lot
talk
of fun.
just
Always fun.
sabers. Yeah, I mean that's the whole point of it, is to have fun. And it just gets everybody, out of the grind for, an hour or two. I know everybody, has to get up early in the morning, go to work and so forth, and at least they get that little time to just kind of uh decompress and have a little fun, during the show. And that's what I have the show for. And again, I always have to make sure that I mention Anthony Space Windu for allowing me to do Saber Talk the way he does, because without him, it'd be kind of hard for him to do Saber Talk all the time with
Yeah.
as busy as he is. And so with him and Gabe, again, both of them actually allow me doing the show, and especially with you, Bears. Thank you, man, for always joining me when you can. And for those who do join me when they can, I have to thank them as well. James and everybody else that comes in, and hopefully next show that, like I said, we'll get Reaver to come in, Reaver's Arsenal to come in, and we'll talk a bit about his fonts and what he does and how he got started in the business. And
Yeah.
he'll get a hold of me during the week, and so we can kind of talk about what we're going to talk about during the show and everything, and have a little fun that way. So be
One font I would love for him to make is an Eno Cordova font
hmm
because besides one other person I know of, no one else has done an Eno Cordova font, and I think that would be
Hmm.
really cool.
I would be. I think now after the show, they'll probably do it. I mean, like I said, I'm sure there's some things out there that I've mentioned and people have done, and of course, they'll get the credit, and that's okay. I mean, eventually, hopefully, one day somebody will say, "Hey, it was Mundo's idea," and I get a little bit of credit for it, even though they produce it out, because I just don't have the funds to do it for people, and I wish I did, but unfortunately, it's not that situation. But what I can do provide is a little bit of fun on Sunday nights for everybody. So again,
Great.
one last time to thank everybody who's been in the chat, for everybody who comes and talks on here. It really does mean a lot. If you guys make comments in the chats and stuff, I don't get to see all the comments later on. I'll have to talk to Anthony and keep trying to see if I can be able to see comments in the chats and somehow, and that way I can answer some questions or whatever have you guys will. If I can't see your questions, after the show or whatever, you can always get a hold of me on my email, um, E_Cabrera, CABRERAIII at yahoo.com. You can always get a hold of me there, or my Facebook and Instagram at Mundo Cabrera the third, and check me out there. And you could always ask me your questions on there, and I'll do to the best of my ability answer your questions. If you've got a topic that you would love to talk about, get a hold of me on Instagram or Facebook and say, "Hey, Mundo, why you want to talk about this? Let's talk about that." And I'll set up a show for it, and we can get in and do that.
Hmm.
Uh, and with that, again, like I said, make sure you like and subscribe to Mountain Sabers as well. James, he really does an awesome job with fonts and everything else on top of that. Make sure that you like and subscribe to Barris on his platforms. Um, and then also make sure that you like and subscribe if you haven't already to Civilized Sabers, the brightest blades on the planet, and uh, and give some Anthony some love, man, and let him know, hey, Mundo's doing an awesome job, man. I mean, he'll be happy to hear that you guys are liking what I'm doing, and I don't plan on going anywhere for a long time. So with that, guys, thank you all so much. Y'all have a great week. Until next Sunday, Mundo out. Peace.
See ya.
Barris, you got anything?
No,
No.
you basically said it better than I could.
All right. Have a good week, man.
All right. Have a
And my
good week,
parents,
everyone.
and may your parents have a good week too.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Thank you.